Okay.
Well, as you can see, we're finally getting back to the border on the cactus, and we've had it off and on for a while. I think the last time, because of the deep technique we were using for the orange, the area was getting a little angry and stuff. So we gave it a little extra time. You can still see some of the redness around there, but we're going after the border now. And I did want to mention too, I opted to have the numbing cream this time. You know, I was going to man it up and say, yeah, I didn't use it at all, but you know, the fact is that because it was angry and red, you know, that would have been a foolish choice on my part for ego. So I asked Holly to please do the numbing cream thing. And people, keep it in mind that the numbing cream works really well. And that if it's a pain issue for you, you can really cut down the pain to a quarter of what you'd normally feel just by using the cream. There's a good caution though. The cream is very powerful, so while it's sitting on you and wrapped in saran wrap and stuff, don't touch it because it'll start to numb out parts of your fingers. We do know more than one tattoo artist that had applied it without a glove usually there's a tongue depressor you use for that, and their hair went numb and they couldn't finish the tattoo. Well, she's not the only one that's done it. I knew somebody out in Santa Rosa that did that once too. And so it's a good thing to keep in mind, especially for the client. And for example, I had pulled up the leg, my pant leg, and Holly was looking at it. And we put the cream on before I removed my pants. And I go, you know, we really should have waited so there wouldn't be any residual numbing cream on my pants as I took them off. So Holly washed it off real good and we didn't run into that. But we did want to touch on the numbing cream because that's something that this is the first time we're showing. Anything else on that?
What about your foot?
My bare foot? Well, most people have shoes on when they operate their gun and their power supply. I like to feel when the power is coming through, because then I know if my gun stops, or if I need gun maintenance, or if I need pedal maintenance, or whatever it may be. That's how you tell. Because most people have loud music in tattoo parlors, so they can't tell, but not everybody plays loud music. See? Barefoot, pedal, gun, perfect order.
And I've seen a whole mix of that, Joe, because there's more than one style foot pedal. She's not the only tattoo artist that chooses a barefoot because they like the feel of the pedal. And as she said, with the noises that are going on in the music, sometimes you might not be able to hear the needle, especially if she's cleaning it or something. So it gives her a good feel as she's working it, that the pedal is making contact. And okay, and we got it. Joe had gotten us the real good mirrors here. So if I want to see how that's going to look at a distance, which is the best way to view it, I've got a real good way. And as I said, people that notice, earlier we were going on and on a lot about this deep technique of putting the orange and the yellow down deep so they'll mix on the rise. If you shade it, inevitably there's going to be highlights and lowlights. And if Joe, you can get close on this one, if everyone will see, this came and blended all the orange and yellow equally and gave me that smoky feel that I was talking about early on. It's flawless, so there's nothing to catch the eye. If there was a oopsie in there in a sky thing, I'd have Holly try to make it look like a little bird or something. But, you know, the fact is that she knows this technique, and especially colors that are close together. You can't do it with, let's say, a red and a blue. All right, but if you're doing a red orange or a red yellow even, you can get away with it. It's usually only good for the two colors that are next to each other, and they'll mix in the skin, just as an FYI. So your tattoo artist will not like try it with a red and a blue. But it's a real deep technique, and it's worth the extra pain that I had to get this really smoky, even sunset. And you know, we talked on and on about it. I'm really glad that we're showing it now finally, because it really is, it's a little bit more painful and it's a lot of extra work for her. She mixes the ink in the cup first, then she mixes the first batch of ink down. When she goes to the second batch, she's doing a second mix right on top of the skin as she punctures it. And then by putting it deep as it heals, it pulls it together and blends it to get that smoky feel. It's a very few artists will do that because it takes so much time. But Holly and I do have the time, and we both were familiar with the technique, and that was the way to go on this. So everything's going just fine. Once we get that border done, I mean, this is just going to be one of the best tattoos at my family reunion in August. So I'm looking forward to that.